Well, when politicians cheat on their spouses, should that affect how you vote? Our next guest says yes. This question is back in the spotlight because the allegations about the personal conduct of some high-profile candidates include Senate hopefuls Graham Platner and Ken Paxton. Arthur C. Brooks is a social scientist, best-selling author, and CBS News contributor. In a new opinion column for the Free Press, Why Cheaters Make Bad Politicians, Brooks argues infidelity isn't just a private matter. Arthur C. Brooks, good morning to you. We're glad you're here. So this is not just a feeling that we're having. You're saying there's scientific evidence that can be a red flag for dishonesty, poor judgment, and even misconduct in public office. What is that evidence?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And we have this tendency to think that private behavior and public behavior can be absolutely separated, but they can't. We'd like that to be the case, but, the truth is that most Americans, we really agree on this. 90% of Americans say that adultery is always wrong. 2% say it's okay. That means that a lot of cheaters are against cheating. But we kind of separate it from public life. And it turns out that when you do the science on this, when you look at the data on this, that people who cheat on their spouses, they're going to cheat on you as a voter, too. That's a general rule. Look, if they're willing to violate the most intimate covenant of their lives, why wouldn't they be unethical when it comes to their duties in high office? And the data show that that is exactly the case. They're more likely to be corrupt. They're more likely to lie. They're more likely to be incompetent, as a matter of fact.
Interesting.
Doesn't seem to matter, though, to voters, though, Arthur.
Yeah, part of the reason. What's that?
How do you explain that? Doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, there's so much polarization in this country that people who are really audacious about their particular behavior, if they're willing to fight the other side, you're willing to look the other way. And that's a big mistake. We need to stop doing that. The truth is, if we're going to bring the country together, we need to bring the country together around common values. Now, this week, we're kind of together because the Knicks and the World Cup and sports really brings us together. But we got to come together around common ethical values as well. And one of the ways to do that is to say, no, I'm just not voting for somebody who's not willing to be faithful, to have, this kind of loyalty to spouse, because I want that person to be loyal to me as a voter.
Despite party allegiance.
Exactly right.
Right.
Exactly
You said, what if a leader caught in adultery claims it's a one-time mistake? Be very skeptical. That is rarely the case. My mom used to always say, a leopard doesn't change his spots, a tiger doesn't change his stripes. You think that's true?
Well, there are people who, they slip up and, and everybody deserves some grace.
And they do better, yes.
But the truth of the matter is that if you are unfaithful in one relationship, the chances are about 300% higher that you will be unfaithful in subsequent relationships. It's usually not a one-off thing.
Yeah. In your column, you cite that research suggests that cheating may be genetic.
Yeah.
So the question is it biological or is it environmental?
Yeah.
Is it who you are or is it just a reflection of what you saw growing up and you're just repeating that?
Yeah, there's a really interesting body of data that shows that 30% of the U.S. population has this D4 dopamine allele, this gene that actually gives them a much higher degree of desire to actually cheat, to have more sexual variety in their lives. This does not mean they're going to. There's all kinds of things that we want to do that we don't do because we have these moral aspirations in our lives. You want people to act according to the person that they want to be, not according to their animal impulses. So, yeah, there's some genetics behind it, but really it's about character.
Maybe that's part of the new testing, not just your credit score, but that gene.
Yeah, you know what? We should actually be able to swab for that for people to actually be, politicians, or for that matter, to be husbands.
Your article is great, Arthur. I, for one, really enjoyed reading it because I think character should matter. We thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Arthur C. Brooks.